feel like that's what. At Sanctras, the 3rd day of January, the year of God Jai, 500 fourscore, 3 zeris. It is appointed, contracted, and finale agree betwixt honorable men James Sandandalis of Sacto Manse on the on part, and Meister David Carnegie of Colfnithe on the other part, in manner, and forme following to wit, the said Mr. David Sal in feft, the side James Sandalandis, and his Aris or Assanges heritably be Shetar and Sansin, in due form, in all how his half landis of Versby, half landis of Woodhead, half landis of Bauhaus, half landis of Godvey, and thar pertentance with donation of benefices and chaplainries pertaining yar to land within Baron of Lou Daris, be a in and serfdom of Fife to be held in Elia of our sovereign Lord, the King's Majesty, and His Highness Successorius for service of word and releffe, and also pay and an annuderate of 30 shillings, 4 pennies, usual money of this realm use it to be paid first of the Sidus Landis of Wadhead, to the prior and convent of the Priori of St. Andre and Sisti, sal in feft the said James and his Eris of his Ascnarius in all and howith the 30 acres of Arable land, with the toft and pertentis there of land within, the baronier of Sacto Manse, regality of Sanctandros, and serfdom foresaid to be held in Elia, the of the Archbishop of Sanctuary, for service use it and won it. And the saddest how in fermentis about ret to be made be to said Mr. David to the said James in ex cambium, for the said James Hafle landis of Cruelly land within the serfdom of Fife said for the Quillis, cause the said James Sandalandis of Sancto Manse shall ineft be Chatar and Sausin in due form, that said Mr. David has Aris and Assinis heritably in all and how his half landis of Cruvier about spet, with our Pendicles and pertinence land within the Baron of Pitler and serfdom of Fief, for said to be Halden in Elia, the of our said Soren's Lord and his Highness Successoris for service of word in ex cambium, for the Sairus Halfe landis of Versby, Halfe landis of Woodhead, Halfe landis of Bauhaus, Halfe landis of Gadvi, and 30 acres of land in Sacto Manse for said. And because the Sairus Halfe landis of Cruve are not to be enough done, are un equivalent and of equal value with the Saurus Halfe landis of Verbice and the Theris Abu Retin, the said James Sandalandis shall at the making of the Sidus Informentis content and pay to the said Mr. David the Somme and 1,000 pund uso Scotus money in off the quick sum of 1,000 pund money. For said the Mr. Davis grantis him well content and pay it, and therefore exoneris quoti clams and discharge the said James thereof forever, and in case the saddest half landis of Verisby and Vitheris spet given ex cambium to the said James Sandelandabilis of Sancto Manse, being on wayus evicted fra the said Jams for only cause preceding the diet hereof, the said James shall not only have veg is again was the sidus halfe landis of Cruvibat, also the said sum of 1,000 pund money given be him in forward as said is, and the said Mr. Davis and his erbis bund and oblets and the tenor heir of Bindis, and I'll bless them too and pay the same again to him and to heirs or assigned in case above written together with the expense that the said James and his heirs shall happen to make upon the buying of the Saidus halfe landis, providing that in K for said or any other kais kuher upon said ex cambium may be disso, and the said James get and his saudis half landis of Cruvier again, together with the said sum of 1,000 pund money given in faut, he and his heirs shall ebundin and oblease like as he be the tenor heir of Bindis, and oblease him and Tom to content and pay again the said Mr. David and his aris all the how the expects that the said Mr. Davis and his soul shall happen to making bigging upon the sides half landis of Cruvi and Fardair, the said James Sanderlandis of Sacto Manse, be the tenor hereof confesse and grantis that he willingly remove all himself fra the saudis half landis of Cruve upon the onct day of Marche, the zeer of God Jai, vict 30 zeris, then occupy and landabrit be him and his awin proper guidus and entread the said Mr. David to the occupying and laboring thereof to sal occupy and manure, and hot 8 said Pais and Barrier, said of the sides half, landis of Cruvier, of the Crop, and Zir of God Jah, ves 14 zeres, and that effect disponit, the said Mr. David, and the correct said Dan Salin, and the reedland made with the ha soril, being that upon together with the house, barns, breeze, and sabelix, with to him, we occupy, labor, and manure the salmon in all team, and his pass and vi scarir, and win how corns upon said halfe land of Cruvier, of the Crop, and the Zir of God Jah, 80, 410 zeris, for said all's well, and quet elis sawin, as the peace bear, and atis, yan to be sawin, and apply the semen, his awin uter, and prophet and confess and grantis, and also consentis, that the Said, Mr. Davidis, and Tirre, yar to the onct day of Marche, the Zir of God Jai, 30 zeris, for said was also sufficienty, as if he had.